teammates. Welcome to the Live Well podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Jen Collins.
And I'm Seth Christopher. Welcome to the Well.
Good morning, Seth. How's it going? It's February.
It's February, Jen, and you know what that means.
I do, but you tell me.
It's Heart Health Month.
It is. It's Love Month. So February is all about loving yourself, loving others, and taking good care of your heart.
You know, it's funny this time of year, but specifically in February, I just feel like my heart gets a little bit bigger.
Really? You might want to get that checked out.
Potentially, but yeah, I really do love February. It's such a great month.
Yeah, so and that's fun, but I was going to actually ask, so our hashtag is my heart beats for. What is your heart beat for?
Wow, put me on the spot. I think if I have to answer, I'll say my heart beats for my family and for our teammates.
I love that. And I could say ditto, which you stole the thunder, but my heart beats for the same.
You've got to stop teeing me up to answer these kinds of questions first, Jen.
Yeah, it's all good. Well, we're going to talk all about heart disease and heart health in the month of February. We have 2 podcast shows that we're producing. Today, obviously, being our first one. And let's dig in. Let's talk about some heart disease.
Yes, Jen, all jokes aside, this is a really important topic. I'm glad we get to highlight it here in February at Atrium Health, and especially through Live Well. Let's spend some time talking a little bit about what exactly heart disease is. We say heart disease, but for teammates who may not be as familiar with it or have always wondered, what exactly is heart disease? Jen, can you break that down a little bit for us?
Absolutely. I thought it would be great to start with a definition, just an old school definition from the CDC. The term heart disease refers to several types of heart conditions. The most common type of heart disease in the United States is coronary artery disease, or CAD. This affects blood flow to the heart. Decreased blood flow can cause a heart attack. So that's your kind of medical definition. There are a few things that go into it because it's like a little bit abstract, right? So it talks about several types of heart conditions. So this includes things like high blood pressure, high cholesterol. We talked about artery disease, and then heart failure.
And each of those, while not so abstract in their measurement, you know, high blood pressure, we've got some parameters around it. High cholesterol, we do as well. Maybe explain a little bit more in detail. What are some of the risk factors or things that put us at higher risk for incidents of cardiovascular disease?
So it's interesting. Everyone is at risk for heart disease. So that's kind of a huge thing to say, but you're at higher risk if you have high cholesterol or high blood pressure, if you smoke, if you are overweight or obese, if you do not get enough physical activity, or if you don't eat a healthy diet. There are additional risk factors that you also have to take into account that we can't control. So when we talk about these diseases, we have modifiable risk factors and non-modifiable risk factors, right? So the modifiable ones are the ones that we can control. Non-modifiable, we have no control over. So those for heart disease include being a woman over the age of 55, if you're a man over the age of 45, and if you have a family history of heart disease, father, brother, mother, sister, that type of thing.
Now, you can't really control your parents. You can't control when you were born. We've talked about that a little bit in the past, but when it comes to preventing heart disease and really focusing on those modifiable risk factors, those behaviors, there are a few things that you can do. We talk about it a little bit throughout the show every time we get on the airwaves, but eating healthy, limiting saturated fats, decreasing sodium and sugar intake, increasing fresh fruits and vegetables and whole grains. Those are ways to really enhance your diet. Get active. Be more active today than yesterday. Do a little bit more today than you did yesterday. Try to do a little bit more tomorrow than you did today. Try and maintain a healthy weight. Quit smoking. Stay away from secondhand smoke. Control your cholesterol and blood pressure, whether that's through diet and physical activity, working with your provider to come up with other ways to lower those risk factors, and then making sure you're managing your stress. This is becoming a really popular and well-founded mediator to a lot of these outcomes when it comes to health and health behaviors. So finding ways to manage your daily stress now more than ever.
Those are some great tips. And, kind of our key takeaways are the things we talk about kind of every show. Eat healthy, get active, and manage stress. So really some key things there. Let's talk about some fast facts. I bet you have some pretty fun ones for us today.
I've got a couple. All right. Fast fact. According to a study published in 2016, daily laughter is associated with a lower prevalence of cardiovascular disease. So the more you laugh daily, the less likely you are to develop cardiovascular disease. This could be for a number of reasons, such as reductions in psychological stress, depression. But Jen, let's be honest, laughing is just plain fun. Fast fact. People who participate in as little as 15 minutes per day of moderate exercise have been shown to live an average of 3 years longer than their peers who did not exercise at all. In this review, they found that performing modest activities like walking or gardening just 1 hour per week was associated with lower rates of stroke and heart attack. So I think if we can all find an extra 15 minutes a day or an extra hour a week for gardening or for something as simple as walking, we will reap the benefits of it now and later on.
I absolutely love that, because 15 minutes is completely doable, I think, for most days.
For most days, and if we talk about winning the week and finding ways to implement 15 minutes, an hour, 150 minutes, if you're really working to get to that full prescription, having it mapped out, I think we can find that 15 minutes a day if we need to, whether it's a midday break or a morning or evening walk to get some fresh air.
Love that. And if you're looking for some guidance on what to do in your 15 minutes, you can check out our fitness channel on Streams. We have lots of exercises there. But I have something super important to tell you based on your fast facts today. I have a question.
Please ask away.
Right. Why couldn't the bicycle stand up by itself?
Why couldn't the bicycle stand up by itself? Because it was on wheels?
It was too tired.
Dun dun dun. See, I feel like all the stress of being on the airwaves is gone now.
Oh, good. I just thought it would be great to laugh. So, all right, let's move into our Mythbusters section.
All right, Jen, let's bust some myths.
All right. The first one, heart disease runs in my family, so there's nothing I can do to prevent it. As we discussed, although people with family history of heart disease are at a higher risk, you can take steps to dramatically reduce your risk of getting heart disease. Create an action plan to keep your heart health by tackling these things. Get active, like we talked, control your cholesterol, eat better, manage blood pressure, maintain a healthy weight, and control your blood sugar, and stop smoking if you are still smoking. So we discussed this. These are the things that we can control. It's vitally important that we keep these things in the forefront. Myth number 2. Diabetes won't threaten my heart as long as I take my medication. So I want to take a moment just to back up here. So we didn't talk about the having diabetes and the risk factor of diabetes with heart disease, but we know now that diabetes and heart disease really go hand in hand. So it's very important to control your heart disease risk factors as well as your diabetes risk factors, because they help to benefit each other. With that being said, even when blood sugar levels are under control, you're still at increased risk for heart disease and stroke because you have diabetes. So make sure that you're controlling all the factors that we just talked about. We have a really excellent guest today that's going to help tell us another way to help control risk factors that you can do through Atrium Health.
I'm looking forward to the conversation.
Yeah, so we have Rachel Field with us today. Rachel has worked in cardiac rehab for almost 9 years, beginning at the Pineville location upon its grand opening in May 2012. Since then, she has gone on to become a certified cardiac rehabilitation professional by the AACVPR in 2014. She has been the race coordinator for Cupid's Cup 5K and 1 mile walk since 2014 as well. In 2021, the event will be her 8th race and her first virtual or Walk Where You Are event. Rachel, welcome to the Well.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
So happy to have you on and love your background. Been with Atrium at doing cardiac rehab for 9 years. That's got to be so rewarding.
It has. I've really seen our program grow from the ground, really. This was a brand new location when I joined and was hired, and I think they expected not as much volume in Pineville and the greater Charlotte into Fort Mill area, as we all have seen, has grown a lot.
Very much so. Pineville's always so busy, and they have such a beautiful facility now. So Rachel, tell us a little bit about cardiac rehab, what it is, who would be involved in it, what you do, kind of give us the scoop on that.
Sure. Yes. Cardiac rehab is a medically supervised program of exercise, nutritional support and guidance through registered dietitians, and a stress management component with counseling. So what we do is we see patients somewhere between 2 and 3 times a week, where they come in for exercise, where their heart rate and EKG are monitored, blood pressures are checked, blood sugars for our diabetics. They're exercising somewhere between 30 and 40 minutes on our equipment, and really kind of getting to know what their limits are so that we can safely watch them and progress them throughout the weeks and months that they attend, so that they can feel fully confident to get back to their daily activities, back to their previous exercise routines. We have all sorts of activity levels, from people who have never stepped foot in a gym or walked much in their neighborhood to, runners and bikers. And the patients that get here because they've either had a heart attack, a stent, bypass surgery, open heart valve surgery. We've had a few heart transplants, and we get a couple other different diagnoses, heart failure as well. So they get referred by a Sanger cardiologist, and we have set them up on an orientation, and then they choose a class time that fits their own schedule, and they come in, like I said, somewhere between weeks and months, depending on their insurance, and we get to see them progress throughout the weeks and months, and they really do so well in terms of forming bonds with each other, which is great. It's always nice to go through something with people that have gone through something similar as yourself, right? So they get to meet other people in similar situations, improve their health, improve their wellness, and really enjoy it. I really enjoy seeing them and watching them.
Rachel, I love the story here. Maybe I didn't have a full concept of all the wonderful things you all were doing. One of the key things that kind of stands out in your description is it's really about just helping their patients and teammates after an event get their life back to normal, and using exercise, nutrition, and stress management as a way to do that. That's a very integrated approach, and something we talk about a lot here on the Wells. Lots of different ways to do it, but you're actually dealing with people who are post-event, or are recovering from something, and helping them to achieve some of those more important goals of just getting back to normal.
Yeah, I like the way you said that. It's really, I love the fact that it's really well-rounded. I mean, it's a good way for anyone to live their life. And then, put in the mix of it, you've had a hospitalization, you have a heart attack. A lot of people don't see it coming. A lot of people may go into the hospital for one thing, and then they're told they have to have, open heart surgery, thinking they might be able to, get quote unquote fixed with a stent. But all of that, no matter how little or how significant the diagnosis and, the impact on their life, some people bounce back quicker than others. Some people have a lot of new medications thrown at them, and that's another part of it, is education on all of this, like why they're taking these medications, how long, what side effects they should look out for, how they can make them feel day to day. And then, as they get further out from the hospitalization, they really get to be doing more. And just like you said, it's a lot of different things that can help people just really get back to the way they want to live and the way they can fully and optimally live.
And our podcast today, our show is all about heart health basics. It is February, so we are celebrating Heart Health Month. And what we've talked about on our show today is the basics, right? Nutrition, exercise, stress management, risk factors, of course. But it's great that you guys in cardiac rehab are addressing the same things that we're talking about with teammates today as well. And I would assume it's not just going to be elderly people. There's all ages can end up in cardiac rehab, right?
Oh yeah, we see a lot of different ages. I mean, honestly, at any given time, we usually have patients maybe from the late 30s, early 40s up to 90s. So it's a wide variety.
Talk to us a little bit. I've been in cardiac rehab myself. I used to work there a long time ago. And one of the things that was so great about the program, of course, the exercise, of course, the education, but you mentioned the camaraderie and just kind of the emotion that happens with these patients and working with the nurses and exercise physiologists. Talk a little bit about your experience with that. Kind of what does it feel like to be in cardiac rehab?
Yeah, sure. So the patients come in, as I said, 2 or 3 times a week, but they're relatively steady, what time they come. So they're in a class time. So they get to know the same people, they get to know the same staff, and we all pretty much all work the same classes. So we get to see almost all the patients, or a lot of us are full time. So they, get to know what each other can do and what they're looking for. Now that they notice when people aren't there, they ask about each other. They, pick on each other sometimes. It's a really good supportive environment though, because people will encourage each other. And, especially right now with people, we're just finding, a lot of people are coming here in the grocery store. They might be seeing us more than they're seeing their families with COVID. So I think a lot of it is just a great support system because again, everybody's so isolated. So we've definitely seen a shift in that. Now that people are coming here and enjoying themselves, and it's a good positive thing for them to look forward to.
And social support it's such an important component of maintaining and in your case kind of starting or restarting for the patients starting their exercise program to get back to those activities of normal life. We also talk about that too. I think it's sometimes it's understated, just how much having some accountability to another person, and in this case, another group of people, and of course, you and your staff and your team there too. I think that creates a really strong bond that I think we all could learn from and say, hey, as we're setting goals for ourselves and we're trying to be healthier and be more conscious of our habits, that maybe building a structure around social support is the way to go.
Yeah, it's kind of like telling somebody that you have a goal. They know each other's goals. They're working towards feeling better. You're likely to be, successful if you're kind of accountable to somebody. And, they're accountable to us. We're taking attendance. We want to make sure they come and use their visits, and, we can give them feedback and education and kind of, give them the nudge. We always kind of tell people on their first day, we want you to be doing things at home, but we want you to work a little harder in here. Do it while our eyes are on you. Do it while you're on a monitor, so that you do really feel confident in everything you do day to day.
It hurts my heart that they're not seeing their family at this time. That just really touched me. But I'm so thankful that Atrium Health has a place for them to go, that our cardiac rehabs, our pulmonary rehabs, that all of those are up and running. But that's a big lift sometimes and takes quite a bit of finances to make a program like this run. And you guys have a very neat way of fundraising for your program, don't you?
Yes, we do. So we have a scholarship fund that we can offer people. Luckily, the vast majority of our patients are able to use their insurance, but if we were to miss everybody that didn't have insurance, or their insurance for some reason doesn't cover them to come here, we can offer them our scholarship program. So they will pay a small fee per session, it's like a small copay, and this scholarship fund picks up the vast majority of the rest of their cost to come to cardiac rehab. So they commit to, being compliant and having regular attendance, and we can give them 12 to 36 visits here at our center where we can give them all the things we just talked about. So it's really a great opportunity to be able to catch some patients that otherwise might miss out on this great service.
My jaw just dropped. 12 to 36. Rachel, and it's just another way of another example of how Atrium Health just goes above and beyond. I know you guys are associated with Sanger and a lot of the great things you all do, but I just think that's fantastic, and something that really is an example of the great work that into giving to our communities here.
Yeah, totally, I agree. I mean, a lot of other facilities don't have anything in place for this type of situation, so we've been able to offer it to a lot of patients throughout the years.
In 36 sessions, that's like a typical program, so that's pretty impactful. So how do people, do you take donations? How do you get the scholarship fund? How is that built?
So our biggest thing is our Cupid's Cup. So our Cupid's Cup 5K and 1 mile walk that we hold every year, in February will be our biggest revenue source for this program. All of our net proceeds go into our cardiovascular health fund that is placed within Atrium, and then we're able to draw from those funds to offer cardiac rehab sessions to these scholarship patients.
That's exciting. And it's Cupid's Cup, so that's really cute. So I'm assuming it's in February, playing on Heart Month, right?
Yes, typically we hold the in-person event right around Valentine's Day, Saturday in February around Valentine's Day. So this year we'll be walking where we are. That's our slogan, walk where you are, for a virtual event. And it'll be anytime, so it offers some convenience because you can do it any time during the week of February 7th to the 14th.
That's awesome. Tell us a little bit about the rate, like how to register. I know there's a really great website and something with t-shirts and medals. Give us a little bit of information about this cup. Let's get people registered. How can we talk this up?
Yes, I'd love to. So I've been working closely with the race timing company Start to Finish and Races Online. So the website that goes directly to the Races Online registration is super easy, www.cupidscup5k.com, and it walks you right through it. So if you know that your department is creating a team, that's one of the first steps. I believe you're going to create an account and you can join a team, or you can register as an individual with your family, your friends, or neighbors. But you can definitely register as a group or a department. We love to see people register together and fundraise, and it'll just walk you right through it. So if you know of a team that's already created, maybe talk to some of your other teammates. If not, maybe you can take the initiative to create a team. And it really walks you right through it. It's really easy. And so when you register, you'll receive a t-shirt. The first 100 people registered receive a medal. But as long as you pay the $35 registration fee, you get a nice white long sleeve t-shirt that has our fun logo on it with a Cupid.
How cute.
Cute indeed. Nice swag to go along with supporting a great cause.
So that website again was www.cupidscup5k.com. We'll drop it in our show notes. And all the $35 go towards cardiac rehab, or is there a portion?
So what we do each year is we just, out of all the registrations and all the donations and sponsorships that of the companies that we receive, we just deduct the cost of the shirts. Really, that's most of our cost this year is shirts and medals, and then we get all the net proceeds. So I didn't mention earlier, we have 3 locations in the greater Charlotte area. I'm at Pineville. There's a location out in Union County in Monroe, and there's one at South Park. So all 3 locations have patients from all over the area and all offer the scholarship program.
So this is a community event as well as a teammate event. And if someone is not available to walk where they are that particular week, they can still donate to the cause, right? Right there on the website?
Oh, sure. Yes, there's right on the website, I would highly recommend getting a t-shirt. So you can sign up for the race. If for some reason you miss the deadline of the 14th to sign up by, you can still go on and donate to the cause, and us and our patients would greatly appreciate it.
So Seth, I think you and I, as the Well hosts and part of Live Well, we need to get ourselves a t-shirt and take some pictures of us walking where we are.
Yeah, that's a great idea, Jen. I'm excited about the t-shirt, but I'm also excited about being able to contribute to the cause.
Yeah, it's a great cause. And just as a side note, the cardiac rehab in Union in Monroe, that's where I worked before. So those individuals are fabulous. That's so fun. We must have just missed each other.
I think so, yeah.
Well, we thank you so much, Rachel, for being on talking about cardiac rehab at Atrium Health and the Cupid's Cup. Again, we will put all this information in the show notes, and I just highly recommend that you make a team and get walking and raise some money for our wonderful cardiac rehab program.
Thanks, everyone, for all your support.
A big thank you to Rachel for joining us today. Jen, every time we have one of these guests on, just telling us all the special things that they're doing and the lives they're touching, not just our teammates, but the difference they're making in our communities. I go back to it and just hashtag Atrium Health Proud. This is just amazing stuff.
It is, and definitely look up the website, thecupidscup5k.com, and you can get registered, you can join a team, you can start a team. The Live Well team has a team. If you want to join ours, it is Love Well with the Live Well team. So feel free to join us as well. But there's just so much good stuff happening at Atrium Health.
Yeah, and I love how they're making the adjustment this year, still keeping the event going, have pivoted a bit to a virtual event, something we're all becoming a little bit more familiar with, but really glad that they're still able to keep that moving and they're still able to contribute and make a difference.
Absolutely. I love the scholarship program idea that's really reaching those community members who are in need and providing a service to help their health.
All right. Speaking of things that are happening to help our health, Jen, what exactly is happening in Live Well this month?
So obviously it's Heart Health Month, and we have some really phenomenal information on the Heart Health page on the Live Well site. So make sure you check that out. Some key dates that are coming up is February 12th, that's a Friday. It is Wear Red Day. So we're encouraging all teammates to wear red on that day. We are selling t-shirts. You can get a really fun long sleeve red t-shirt that says My Heart Beats 4. So that's our hashtag this month is My Heart Beats 4. So you can hashtag that on Yammer. You can take pictures of your shirt, take pictures with your teammates. You know, that it's a great fun way to call attention to heart health.
And no reasons too small or too big. You know, tell us what your heart beats for. Really put it out there. We're looking forward to hearing about, you know, what motivates you and what keeps you going. So looking forward to the feedback, teammates. So a lot of great things happening in Live Well. A lot of great things happen across Atrium Health. Jen, we talked about a lot today, from modifiable behaviors to non-modifiable behaviors, all the big acronyms in between. You know, break it down for us. What exactly did we learn today?
So we learned that heart disease refers to several different types of conditions of the heart. And as you said, there are risk factors that we can't control, things like family history and age, but there are risk factors that we can control, including eating healthy, having an active lifestyle, and managing our stress, among other things. We also learned that Atrium Health has a fabulous cardiac rehab program if you're someone who can benefit from that.
And if you can get out for a 15-minute walk, you might be doing yourself and your later self a favor. But one thing we all can make time for, Jen, let's laugh. Let's laugh every day. Let's find a way.
I love that. I absolutely think that is a great recommendation. Our next podcast, we're going to continue talking about heart health, and we are going to have a very special guest with us, Dr. Kohler, who is featured this month in the Live Well calendar. He will give us an insider's look into how a healthy diet and exercise can prevent or help treat heart disease. This podcast will be airing on February 25th, so make sure you tune in.
And teammates, don't forget to listen to the Live Well website for more information on managing stress, working on a preventive action plan with a Live Well health coach, and additional information on connecting with a dietitian.